Hello everybody and welcome back to another exciting episode. Today is a special episode. It is another Versus series episode, and on today's agenda is the cinnamon roll. We are on the hunt for finding the best cinnamon roll anywhere in the theme parks around the Orlando area. So we're going to be scouring Disney, Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Animal Kingdom, wherever we can find a cinnamon roll. We're going to look at Disney Springs, we're going to look at Universal, Islands of Adventure, Universal City Walk, anywhere around the area, theme parks that we can find a cinnamon roll. We're going to bring them into this Versus Challenge, and we are going to crown the #1 best cinnamon roll of the theme parks. So stay tuned for this exciting episode. We're going to find the best cinnamon roll around. I am a huge fan of cinnamon rolls. I love them. All varieties of cinnamon rolls. There's rarely a bad cinnamon roll to me. But there are variations of how good a cinnamon roll is. What are some of the characteristics of a good cinnamon roll? I think 1,
not too sweet.
Not too sweet. 2, I think it's got to have a good cinnamon sugar flavor to it. If it doesn't have the cinnamon sugar flavor to it, and I mean a good one, and like that thick, buttery cinnamon sugar between the rolls, then it's not really a cinnamon roll for me. And then 3, it's got to have a solid glaze, icing of some kind that really just tops it off. Because the cinnamon roll itself, while cinnamony in goodness, I think it needs that little bit of creamy sweetness. Some of them have like a cream cheese kind of topping to them that just kind of really wraps it all together. Are you a huge fan of cinnamon rolls?
No, I don't not like them. It's not like I'm like, oh, that's gross. I don't like a cinnamon roll. But I would never in my life order a cinnamon roll. I just think they're okay. And typically I think they're too sweet. So I'll just take like a bite or two, like a little bite, and then I'm done.
Well, that's good then, because so we have one person that's a huge fan of cinnamon rolls, and it's basically every time they eat the cinnamon roll in this episode going to be like, this is delicious. And then we'll have the critic over here who's going to be like, it's aight. It's aight. So between the two of us, it should be a good pairing to figure out who really actually has the best cinnamon roll around. All right, so let's dig in. All right, so the first cinnamon roll contender is here in Animal Kingdom. We are in the Africa section of Animal Kingdom at the Tamu Tamu shop. I believe this cinnamon roll is available in a few locations throughout Disney. We chose to grab the one at Animal Kingdom, and it is the Colossal cinnamon roll, and it is $7.49. Let me show it to you. Oh, check this out. I mean, that looks awesome. Woo! Now, I will tell you, this cinnamon roll has been prevalent in the parks for quite a while. It is gigantic. I mean, let's look at it. It's like as big as her head. But the icing on top is blue because of the 50th celebration that's going on right now. Sometimes it has an orange icing on it for Halloween. I know for the Christmas holiday event that's coming up, I think it's going to have like a red or red and green. But basically, the cinnamon roll and the glaze itself is just a vanilla, flavored glaze. So I think the flavor of it, even though it's blue, should be the same as it always is. So we're going to use this version because that's the one they have today. But they should all be pretty much the same. So the Colossal cinnamon roll, $7.49 at Animal Kingdom at the Tamu Tamu shop in Africa. Let's give it a rip. And I can tell you, it is warm. So when they handed it to me, it was warm. It's a little cold out today, so the warmness of this roll is fading very quickly. So we're going to dig in real quick. All right, let me just get that off the fork. See some cinnamon stuff in here. Let's give it a taste. First impressions.
It's good. It's not too sweet.
It has kind of a croissant-y texture to it.
Yeah.
I just make up words. Croissant-y. That's not a word. It's like a croissant. It has the texture, like the flakiness of a croissant, which is kind of, I don't know. It's kind of unique. Like I guess some cinnamon rolls have kind of a croissant style to it, but this definitely has a croissant style to it. And it's definitely not too sweet. I didn't. I'm gonna get towards the middle here. See if I can get like a little bit
I just
more of
tried
the
the
cinnamon.
icing, the blue icing on the top by itself, and it just has a light sugary flavor.
All right, I'm gonna go in for the center area. A lot of people love the center part of the cinnamon roll the most. She's probably the opposite. She probably likes the crusty edge that has like no cinnamony stuff or anything on it. I'm gonna go with the center. I think this is a good cinnamon roll.
Yeah.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
This is a solid cinnamon roll. I actually think
And I haven't eaten today, so I don't know if that's why I like it more.
I'm starved. Yeah.
And I normally would.
And it's like the middle of the day and we haven't eaten anything. Or even I haven't even had a sip of water yet for some reason. And it's very good. I like this a lot. It's not overly sweet. I could probably take it. I don't know. I could probably use it a little bit sweeter, but then I feel like it's so big that after trying to eat the whole thing at that level of sweetness may be too much. I think Max would love this.
Yeah,
I think
he
Max
doesn't
would
like super
love
sweet
this
ones.
cinnamon roll. He doesn't like the super sweet ones either. But I dig it. And the glaze, the glaze on the top is just like you said, a vanilla kind of glaze. And it's actually really good. And it's warm. But I like that croissant texture.
Yeah, I like
Do you
the
like it?
texture of it.
It's like a little crispiness almost to it. It's not like a lot of cinnamon rolls are just like a big soft mush ball. And I love it. Or they're like very bready. You know what I mean? Like breadish. Another made-up word, breadish. I'm ripping out some zingers on this episode. But this one has like this flaky croissant texture to it. I like it a lot, actually. When I first saw this, I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to love this, but I actually really like it.
And it's shaped like Mickey.
And it's shaped like Mickey, just like the
That's a
pretzel
plus.
battle we did. It's automatically gets points for that.
It does.
Okay.
I had to stop eating it because I want other food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're starting off good. This is a good cinnamon roll. I'm impressed. I actually really dig it. We'll see what's next on the list. We got a few more to go through, so I'm excited because I love cinnamon rolls. I like this cinnamon roll a lot. It's got a high bar.
Yeah.
It's got a high bar because I really like it, and I like sweet cinnamon rolls, and she likes it, but she doesn't like sweet cinnamon rolls. It's kind of in the middle. So for me, this is a good one. This is a good contender. So here we go. We got a battle. It's gonna be good. So stay tuned. Let's see what we find next. Okay, here we are with our next contender for the top cinnamon roll in all of the theme park areas in Orlando. I am excited because I've been wanting to give this thing a go for a while, and it looks awesome. And it is from Gaston's Tavern in the Magic Kingdom. Check this out. Like, oh my goodness. It's huge. Look at this thing. Huh? Check it out. This thing looks awesome, but I will say it's cold. It's not warm at all. Was it in like? Did it look like it was in a warmer?
I don't know where they got
I don't
it
know.
from.
It's totally cold. There's no heat to it at all. But the Mickey
Yeah.
the Mickey cinnamon roll that we got at Animal Kingdom was warm and it was really good. So far, that's kind of a negative. I don't know. Maybe not. We'll see. All right, let's give it a go. It looks delicious. It has two different kinds of icing on it or something. It's got like a white icing and like a brownish icing. I don't know if they're different flavors. But this thing is really big
It's giant.
and very difficult to cut and eat.
It needs to be on a bigger plate, I think.
Looks like there's a lot of cinnamon stuff in there, so I don't know, give it a. Oh, your bite looks better than mine.
This one has more of like a bread texture, don't you think?
Yeah. It's very bready. It actually reminds me. I used to get this at like Kroger or Walmart or any places like back in the day. This like cinnamon raisin bread that had this icing on top. And for some reason they don't make it anymore anywhere. You can still get cinnamon raisin bread, but you can't get the cinnamon raisin bread with that like glaze on top. So I ended up making it myself. It reminds me of that, just without the raisin.
I like the icing better on this one than the one at Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, there's a healthy amount of icing on top.
But I think I like the texture of the one at Animal Kingdom better.
Okay, so I went in for the center part of the roll, which tends to be my favorite because it's like the ooey, gooey-ish.
Sweetest part.
It is, and the warmest part usually, but this is ice cold. Like it is literally ice cold. So let's see. The flavor's good. The flavor's good. It's pretty sweet though. It does taste a little bit sweeter than the one at Animal Kingdom, the Mickey roll. Not too sweet, but it is sweeter.
Yeah.
Do you think it's sweeter?
Yeah, but it's not too sweet though.
Yeah, I think it depends on
the
maybe.
icing's better.
The icing is better. I like a lot of icing on mine though. And I have heard that you can just ask for extra icing and they'll put extra icing on this, but I didn't want to do that because I wanted to get it like how it comes for like an equal comparison because I feel like if you drown it in icing, I'm going to like it no matter what. But overall, it's definitely a bready texture, which I think is okay. But if it was warm, I feel like I would like it better. And it's really big. It's bigger than the Mickey one.
It looks like a loaf of bread, kind of.
It is. It's like a big puff ball. Of bread. I mean, it looks like bread. But overall, the flavor profile I like.
Yeah.
There's a good. So we're evaluating on a few metrics. So like, does it taste cinnamony? I definitely get the cinnamon flavor. The icing. Does it have icing and is the icing solid? I think the icing is better on this one. Or maybe, for all I know, it's the same icing. I don't think so because there's two colors. And then maybe just put more, but I like this icing better.
Yeah, same.
All right, so let's just kind of evaluate it on a few different dimensions. So first, is it cinnamony? Yes, it definitely gets a good cinnamon flavor. 2, the icing. Is it solid? Definitely like the icing on this better. I feel like it's better icing than on the previous one that we had at Animal Kingdom, the Mickey Colossal kind of cinnamon roll. I like this icing better.
Oh yeah, it's a lot better.
I think it's different icing because there's 2 different colors, but I like that better. Texture-wise,
I like the one at Animal
I really like the croissant, the sort of croissant-y texture. Warmth, it's not warm, so it's cold versus warm. Depends on what you like.
The other one was easier to eat. This was kind of difficult.
And then overall flavor profile. So I don't want to go through. I mean, that's kind of what I'm evaluating with. So I don't know. It's kind of it's up and down. I feel like because this one has better icing, and it's actually size-wise, it's a monster.
Yeah.
And it's got good cinnamon flavor.
And you get to sit in this cute little Gaston's tavern.
And we're in Gaston's tavern, which just looks like a wall behind us, but it looks cool everywhere else. It's just not on the video. Okay, good. So this is a pretty good, solid cinnamon roll. And how much was it? This cinnamon roll was $6.49, and the one in Animal Kingdom was $7.49. So the $1 more for the one in Animal Kingdom. This one feels bigger to me.
I'm not sure if it actually is, but it feels like it is.
It feels bigger and puffier, but the other one was pretty big too. It was just like broader instead of tall like this one. So maybe they're about the same size. There's $1 more for the one in Animal Kingdom. Okay, so those are 2 big heavy hitters here in Disney. We've got more cinnamon rolls on the list to go through, so let's keep on rolling. All right, we are at our very last cinnamon roll. Of the 3 cinnamon rolls that we've tried 2 in Disney, and now we've got 1 in Universal. We're at Islands of Adventure, but you can get it at Universal Islands of Adventure, Universal City Walk, doesn't matter. And the cinnamon roll that we're going to show today is the Cinnabon. So, Cinnabon. Now, I do know that Cinnabon isn't exactly like Universal specific, like you can get it at the mall. But it's the best cinnamon, it's the only cinnamon roll I can even find anywhere in Universal. And surprisingly, there's not a lot of cinnamon rolls in Disney. A couple of the cinnamon rolls that they used to have at Disney are now all gone, and they've just been replaced by the Mickey cinnamon roll. So we are here at Islands of Adventure. The Hulk is in the background here making a lot of noise, so I'm sure you can hear it every 30 seconds. But look at this thing. Oh, I'm excited. Cinnabon. It looks pretty juicy and pretty good. And we're going to compare it against the Gaston cinnamon roll and the Mickey cinnamon roll, the Colossal Mickey cinnamon roll from a couple different places. For example, the one we tried was in the Africa area of Animal Kingdom. So it's coming down to these 3. It's the only 3 that we're going to try. I'm going to give it a shot. Now, again, we're looking for the texture. We're looking for the cinnamony flavor, a solid icing on top. So let's give it a go. All right, here we go. This thing looks. This is a giant bite, so we'll see. I might be done eating my bite by the time she's done cutting hers. We'll see. Look at all that cinnamoniness in there, and it's warm. It's nice and warm, and the icing's all like melty on it. What do you think?
I feel like this cinnamon roll has the texture cinnamon rolls are supposed to be. Now I'm not saying, I feel like I kind of like the one that was like a croissant, was that Animal Kingdom, the texture of that better, but people who, I'm not a huge cinnamon roll person, so people who are probably would like the Cinnabon texture better because I feel like that's the norm and what it's supposed to be. It's very cinnamony, I feel like this one.
I'm starting to get in the middle now. It's getting even more cinnamony.
I do like that it's warm.
It's so good. It has like a... I feel like there's like a slight cream cheese flavor to it or something. Is there?
I don't know.
Or am I just making that up? I don't know. It tastes kind of cream cheesy a little bit to me, but I don't know why, because I don't really see any cream cheese. The icing just looks like regular icing. I don't know. This is a tough one for me, because this thing is really, really good. I mean, it is juicy in there. Look at that in there. Look at all that juiciness of the cinnamon and the glaze in there. I don't know. So let's go back. Let's go through the criteria again. So like texture-wise, I think
I like the one at Animal Kingdom better.
I kind of feel like I have to agree. I think that croissant-y like texture of the cinnamon roll was the best texture for me. I think it was like the most interesting. It had like a flakiness to it. It was still kind of soft. It was warm too, and it had a warmth to it. It was good. So it was kind of. It was good. I feel like it could have had more icing on it for me and a little bit more cinnamony. So if I went with the cinnamony flavor of the three, Cinnabon hands down for me by far blows it out of the water when it comes to cinnamon flavor. And then icing wise, I kind of feel like Cinnabon's icing is going to be the winner for me because the one at Animal Kingdom, the colossal Mickey one, didn't have very much icing on it. Now,
Hi.
the Mickey cinnamon roll had icing on it, and it was a blue icing because it was like 50th anniversary, but it technically was just the normal white icing. So there just wasn't as much of it. I could have used more icing on that. Flavor was good, but I could have used more of it.
Yeah.
So I think for me, the Mickey cinnamon roll, it had that blue icing on it, which is basically just colored because of the 50th anniversary. So it's normally just white, but it tastes the same. The icing was really good. I liked the flavor of it, but it needed more, in my opinion, icing. And this icing is like melted. And then the Gaston cinnamon roll, I think it was the worst of the three for me.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It wasn't horrible, but it didn't have a strong cinnamon
really
flavor.
hard to
The icing was kind of just okay, and it wasn't warm at all. And it didn't have a high cinnamon flavor.
Yeah.
And it was very bready.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like a good cinnamon roll texture, so I think it was the weakest. And by the way, this cinnamon roll was $5.69, and you get the annual pass discount on it. By far, this cinnamon roll is the cheapest,
Yeah.
by far,
Yeah,
from
it's
the other
pretty big,
ones.
too.
And it's huge.
Yeah.
So it's the cheapest. Icing was solid. I really like the icing on this.
And I feel like it is the texture that you would expect a cinnamon roll to be.
It's warm. It's got a heavy
Yeah.
cinnamon to it. The texture's good. I
Yeah.
do think the Mickey one was a better texture personally. I like that croissant. It was kind of unique and interesting. I liked it. But overall, between the three,
The Cinnabon.
I think it's gonna have to be Cinnabon. And I'm sorry, I know this isn't technically a theme park cinnamon roll, but that's all we got to work with. So too bad. I mean, if I had to just go by Disney cinnamon rolls, I think the Mickey one is way better
Yeah.
than the Gaston's one. The
sure.
Gaston's one was pretty disappointing. So the Mickey one for Disney, and for Universal it's Cinnabon because there's no other contenders. But I think between the two,
Yeah, it's Cinnabon.
Cinnabon is going to be the best. And I guess it makes sense because they do just specialize in making awesome cinnamon rolls. And they have sticky pecan rolls now, and then you can actually just buy the center of the Cinnabon. Like for people who like the center goodness, you can actually just buy the middle of these things now, and it comes in a cup with all this icing on it. So like, I think overall it's the cheapest. Cinnabon for me. I think
Yeah.
Cinnabon has got to be crowned the winner of the cinnamon roll wars. It takes the proverbial cinnamon roll crown, and there you have it. So Universal comes out on top on this one because their cinnamon roll is better than all the other cinnamon rolls that Disney has. So good on you. Now maybe if Universal introduces more cinnamon rolls, we can add them in the future. But for now, it's just these three. If you have any ideas for cinnamon rolls that you think we should try, and we should add to our list, maybe crown a new cinnamon roll champion, please comment below. Let us know. Thanks for joining us. Like, subscribe, share our videos if you think anybody likes cinnamon rolls and they'd be interested in knowing what's the best cinnamon roll in the theme parks. But until next time, the Noble Way.
It's the easy way.
Bye-bye.